Hi everyone. Hi guys. Thank you for joining. If you can hear me, please can you use the chat box to let me know. It's Mother's Day. I know some people might still be celebrating, but I was thinking we can just wrap it up. Let's come and discuss. Hence the topic for today. So happy Mother's Day to mothers all over the world, potential mothers, expecting mothers, every woman out there. Happy Mother's Day to you all. Welcome, guys. I think more people are joining. Please let's share this video as we are joining. Let's share, let's like the video. It also helps in reaching out to many people. Can anyone hear me though? Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. If you can hear me, just use the chat function. Use the Oh, thank you, Kamalo's family. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I appreciate. So, guys, yeah. Today on This Is My Story, of course, it's Mother's Day, and once again, happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there, soon to be mothers, potential mothers. Um, yeah, happy Mother's Day to us all. So today in this episode, this is the first episode, and in case you don't know, if you are joining us for the first time, This Is My Story is actually a kind of series or a program whereby we come and share our stories. So I would select a topic, and based on the topic, we just come here, and all we do is to come and share. You just share, what has happened, your own experience of that. So we've had the first one. That first one was an interesting topic during Valentine's season, where we talked about never. I never wish to have an ex, but probably you eventually had it. Yeah. And then the second one we talked about friendship. There is this popular say that there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And we're asking, is that a truth or just a tale? And so many people, of course, shared their friendship experiences. And I think so many people agree that is actually truth, that you can find out one friend or some friends who will stick closer than family relationships. Okay. Yeah. And today being Mother's Day, we are looking at my journey to motherhood. And journey to motherhood, a major journey towards motherhood, as we know, is pregnancy. Okay, that's a major, not the only way to become a mother. Okay, you must not be pregnant, you must not give birth to become a mother. Okay, so we have godmothers out there, we have people that probably adopted. That's not necessarily what makes you a mother, but we are just focusing on this aspect of motherhood, okay, which is pregnancy. Thank you, Flavia. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Joy. Happy Mother's Day to you too. Thank you very much. So we are looking at pregnancy. So we'll be talking about everything pregnancy. There's this saying that no pregnancy is the same. Yeah. No pregnancy is the same. Even for the same person, you might have had some people that have had two, three, four, five children. Some of them have stories to tell about how different each pregnancy is. And even I think it's not just mercy by people who have been pregnant. I think even medicine, like medical professionals, they also acknowledge that pregnancy is not the same for everybody. People experience pregnancy in different ways, so that is actually true. So we are just here for people to share. Of course, some people will learn. It's not just for more like those that have already been pregnant. If you're an expectant mother, personally for me, this I believe is one episode that people can key in. Just come and learn, hear about pregnancy, and just believe by faith. Yes, next time I'm just taking clues, I'm just learning lessons so that when I get to that point, because definitely you will get there, okay? Definitely you will get to that stage. You'll be pregnant if you wish to, and of course, you have that experience. So it's just like gathering experiences, even if you are single, come and hear what pregnant people that have been pregnant have to say about pregnancy and kind of mentally prepare your mind. Okay, we'll be talking about pregnancy cravings. We'll be talking about appetite also during pregnancy. I'll be talking about fears and anxieties. This one, probably if you are pregnant or hoping to be pregnant in the future, probably when you hear other people's experiences, there are the things that can also help you, that when you are going through that, you know that you are okay, you are normal, nothing is wrong with you, okay? Because to be honest, personally, sometimes I've always had that experience. Is everything okay? Am I normal? It seems I'm acting weird. Is this normal? Is this okay? But then when you now share it and you now hear people say, oh, during my own time, this, during my own time, that, you find out that eventually you can, have that reassurance that everything is actually okay. It's just part of the process, it's part of the journey. Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm going to leave the link. You can actually join me. So the beauty of this program is that you can always join. You click on the link if you want to join. Okay. So you can actually join and come into the studio and share. You can turn on your video. You can turn your video. You can change your name if you want your identity to be hidden. If you join, you don't need to download any app. All you need is to click on that link, and then it will ask you for a name you want to be on display. For instance, you can see mine is intentional favor. Yeah, you can write any name you want in case you want your identity hidden. You can on your camera, you can put off your camera, whichever one that is convenient for you. Is a live program, and of course, it's out there to the world. Okay, so whichever one you are comfortable with, just do so and join the conversation. So one thing that makes this show lovely or nice is when people join and you hear so many stories. This is my story. Own your story. Um, share your own experience, and we can actually have a good time. So use this link. I've shared it. If you want to join at any time, can always use this link to join the show, and just more like dialing in. I'll let you in and you can share your own story. So I'm actually as so many of you might know, currently I'm pregnant. I'm going through this journey, and it's actually my first pregnancy. Yeah, it's my first pregnancy. And I've along the line on this channel, I have shared so many videos. I have said some things about how my journey has been, and overall, in summary, it has not been easy. Okay, it's been very, very, very difficult, especially from the beginning. Okay, from the beginning, it's been very, very difficult for me. Hi, Kamalo family.
Yeah,
Wow, interesting.
yeah, very interesting indeed.
Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. So my experiences, they've not been easy. Like I was saying, it's been hectic, especially my first trimester. I'm currently in my second trimester, but my first trimester I saw hell. Oh my gosh. It was so difficult, and because personally I'm one person that I'm not always sick. I used to say it, I can stay in the a whole year without taking even paracetamol. So I even hardly have headache or any reason to take any medicine or anything at all. So when this started happening, it came with dizziness, constant headache. The few times I've had malaria while in Nigeria, I was feeling like I had malaria. I was feeling like I had fever. I'm not okay. And it was actually not good at all. So sometimes when you've always been healthy and then this is happening for you, it felt so strange. And my body was just dealing with me. And I was feeling like this is actually, maybe something is wrong. Probably I have an underlying illness that I don't know. I know what made it more difficult, because I remember then sometimes my body will be shaking. I will tell my colleague my body is shaking, and she will ask me, "Do you think you've got a viral infection or anything, or do you think it's the pregnancy?" Then I will say, "That's the difficult thing. I don't even know. I can't say whether it, because I'm pregnant. I don't know if it's normal symptom or something is wrong with me." So, at that point, you can't really distinguish whether you are not feeling well. Probably you caught an infection, or you are actually having pregnancy symptom. So it was so difficult for me then, but I kept pushing, and I would say I wanted to give up. I didn't want to give up, but I started having a rethink, because I, for one, have to give want a large family. I want a large family. I came from a very small family, very small. It's just me and my brother, and I
Oh,
don't like it. I miss having siblings. So I've always told myself, no, my children will have enough siblings. They won't be like me, because I miss having siblings around me. I miss all of those things. So, but at that point, they started giving me some thoughts. Are you sure you can do this, madam? Are you sure you can go the second time? Are you sure you can go the third time? Are you sure you can go the fourth time? Are you really sure you can do this again? But then people keep saying all pregnancies are not the same. And I said, okay, let me use that one and hold body. As Nigerians will say, let me try and see. Okay, no worries. And then that is it. But hopefully, let's see how it goes. But I've heard some people that they say that all their pregnancies are difficult. So I'm not even sure if to say they are not the same, but it can still be difficult. So that's how it has been. And when it came to craving, oh my God, my cravings were something else. Even though, yeah, you can ask, is it okay for us to ask questions relating to the topic? Yeah, please, Flavia. Yeah, it is 100%. Feel free to drop your question. You can join live. If you can't join live for some reason, you can also interact, okay, using the chat box, okay. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this. I'm not sure if I'm doing it well. I'm pronouncing it well, but Betha, somebody Betha or something. I don't know. I can cite you. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, I really appreciate. Yeah. So we can also use the chat box. Just leave your comments, your questions, confirmations, or you can even share your own experience if you want to type it. Leave it in the comment section. We also read it. We also take all of that. But you can use the link to join the conversation if you want to share, talk and let people hear you. So that's
yeah.
how it's been. My cravings, I've talked about it. I was craving so many weird things. So many weird things, and it's not been easy. I don't know if Kamolo has anything to share.
Yes, yes. I have something
Good.
to share.
Interesting. I would like to hear what you have to share. I'm so eager to hear what you have to say about this topic.
Yes. First of all, I I want to thank you so much because before I came to UK, when I was still in Kenya, I used to watch
Okay.
your videos,
Oh,
and it really gave me the motivation to come to the United Kingdom.
oh, that's
So
lovely.
when I came, my wife was like 7 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it was quite a hard experience to get into this country with 7 months
Yeah,
pregnancy and everything. So we really had some hard time,
yeah,
but uh, we went through everything. Pregnancy is different. Some people find it's different mood. Sometimes they're angry,
yeah,
sometimes they're happy. But as we
yeah.
speak, the baby's right here. She's like almost
Oh,
4 months old right now.
oh,
Yes, she was
wow,
she was
wow.
she was born here in UK, and
Oh,
we are very happy. We are very happy. And when I saw you live
oh,
streaming, I said I must join because you really
right.
motivated us. You are our greatest motivation to this point.
Oh, that's
Yes,
good to
and
know.
and I was
Wow.
telling my wife I have to join this conversation because
Right. So thank you
yes,
for joining. So
yeah.
what were your
So
own experiences? There are these things that they usually say. There are some not adages, but some says. I think I've said it one time in one of my videos. I heard that from my dad. Of course,
yes,
it's not like my mom was pregnant then, but let's say my mom is eating something. My dad will be wanting to eat the same thing. I'll be like, what's your problem? My dad will always reply to my mom then. He speaks it
Mm-hmm.
like that, but if I'm to interpret, he will say, what a pregnant woman is craving, the husband who impregnated her is also craving it. So as a man, what will be your own story about your experiences, maybe your wife's mood swing? Did it affect you in any way? Some people say that when a woman is gaining weight, you know how pregnancy, you can add some weight. Some people
Yeah.
say that men too, for whatever reason, there is this connection. They also gain weight. So as a man, what are your experiences when your wife was pregnant? How did it make you feel? Or?
Well, at first, as a man, I had never had experience with nausea, but I started vomiting, and I was like, how is that even
Really?
possible?
Wow.
So the doctors told me that is called is it pregnancy sympathy, pregnancy sympathy.
Oh, that's what
Yeah,
it's called.
and I started adding weight, and they told me that is a girl. If you start adding weight, most probably it's a girl. and
Oh,
and everything your wife is eating, you also feel like you need to eat the same thing.
eating it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the cravings that she
Wow.
has, you also have cravings for some particular things. You can crave for something as a man. You're like, today I want to eat this, and you
Yeah.
have to eat that because that is what you're craving for.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's
That's
it's
serious.
it's a serious thing. It's a very serious thing.
Wow. That means
Yeah,
there must be a strong connection between you and your wife to the
it's a,
extent of also. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that one. Even me, when my dad says that, I usually see it as a joke. I usually see
it's
it as a joke when my dad
it's
says that what a pregnant woman is craving, her husband is also craving it. For me,
it's a
he,
very
he,
serious
he
thing.
just, I used to think it's just something he wants to use as an excuse to get
Hmm.
what he wants. But hearing, especially the morning sickness, that you too as a man started throwing up,
Hmm.
I've never heard of that one, but it's very interesting to know that. I've not even heard of that sympathy pregnancy or whatever.
It
That's
is
really
it really exists because it's I didn't
wow.
know it existed. When I was throwing up, I was like, I've never thrown up. I thought I was getting sick.
Yeah.
So it kept happening and happening, and the doctors told me that
Wow.
is sympathy pregnancy. I'm
Wow.
sympathizing with my wife.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's interesting. And how were you able to manage your wife's mood swings?
Well,
Does it affect you? Because I
okay.
know mood swing is another thing. How did you manage it, or how? Yeah.
It was not easy at first. It was so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
When she was moody, I also like felt moody. I could leave her and go away. But I came to
Huh?
realize that that is not the way to
Go
act.
about it. Yeah.
So I just decided to understand everything,
Yeah.
and it became so well. We could cope up together, and whenever she was moody, I could make her happy.
Uh,
Yeah, after if you get to understand your wife when she's pregnant, it becomes
yeah.
so good. Sometimes
So
she wants
I
you, sometimes
agree.
she doesn't want you, but you have to understand both.
I agree. I agree with you. For me and my husband, the first time we started having like not necessarily issues, but when we started having some level of maybe disagreements is actually when I became pregnant.
Yes.
It was so difficult for him to manage. My husband usually is peace loving. He will rather, even that's even what me I don't like about him. He would rather keep quiet. He
Mm-hmm.
would rather not talk, but no, not don't even raise it as an issue. But me, no, it's better we talk it out. So with my pregnancy,
Yeah.
when I have mood swings and all of that, my husband cannot understand it. It took
Well,
him time, and every time we are always, I'm like, what? And I always speak on everything, but he doesn't understand that, you know, it's just part of the pregnancy journey. I'm just having mood swings, and sometimes it annoys him, but he won't understand.
it
It
does.
took him it took him a lot of time for him to just accept it. And
Yeah,
another
it
thing
really
he
takes a
couldn't
long
cope
time.
with,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he couldn't also cope with my cravings.
Yeah.
Personally, for the past 2, 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
almost a month, I've been having one thing for breakfast, and that is fried egg and bread.
Mm-hmm.
Literally every morning. My
Yeah.
husband will be like, again, this thing you are eating, you are eating how many eggs a day again? I'll be like, Oga, how can I help you? It's not my fault. It's your baby. Even as a mother start saying it's your baby, oh, it's what your as a mother start saying it's your baby, it's what your baby wants to eat. It's not me, you
Mhm.
know. And I think men actually need to understand it. And of course, even with pregnant women, sometimes we can also try to help them to understand because it's not easy on their own part. The same way it is not easy on us. It's not easy on us, it's not easy on them because it's kind of we always affect them one way or the other. Okay. But I think if men actually understand some of these things about pregnancy, it will even help. Less arguments,
Wonderful.
less quarrels, less fights, and all of that because you can always use that as an excuse. Well, she's pregnant. And one advice I want to give women, okay, if you can hear me, is if you are pregnant, don't try and I know, of course, if you marry a good man, you should appreciate God for that. Else, when you are pregnant, that is actually when you will need your husband.
Yes.
Please just tell them how it is. Let them help you. For me, at some point, I was feeling bad that I'm always sending my husband on errand as if he's my slave. But I can't help it. And then I just told myself one day, stop feeling bad about this thing. He's the one that did it. It's not your own fault. So let him also carry the cross. You are carrying the pain and everything. Let him also have a fair share of it. So I will always tell him, please, oh, do this for me. Please, I want to drink water. Sometimes he will just stand like this and look at me. I'll just start calling him names. I'll start petting him and I'll start telling him, please go and do it. And he will go and do it. Okay, he will go and do it. So sometimes you actually need to ask for help because, and of course, men should understand to also, support their pregnant wives, their pregnant partners, in the journey because the journey is actually not easy at all. It was not easy. My husband will never stand my craving. He will never, even till now, he doesn't understand it. Because in as much as he has known it's normal, but at first instance, he
Yeah.
will just look at me. Really? Sometimes I just say, okay, leave me alone. It's what I want to eat. Leave me alone. It's not my fault. And eventually I started blaming it. I started blaming it on the baby. If he just wants to say, I say it's your baby. And if I want to ask him for help, I'll say, your baby wants to drink water. Your baby wants to eat this. Can you get this for your baby? Because sometimes your wife, did she do that?
Yeah, she every time she wanted him to do something, she couldn't say she wants something. She tells me the baby wants
The
this.
baby.
The baby
It's
wants this.
true. It's true. It's the baby. It's the baby that wants it too.
Yeah.
It's the baby that wants it.
Mm,
There is this couple that they were just doing comedy. Oh my God. The woman will just ask for weird things.
mhm.
And whenever the husband is angry, of course, it's comedy. But when the husband will say, it's your baby that wants it, it's not me. Before I became pregnant, do I ask you for that? You should know that it is the baby. I said the baby wants to do this, the baby wants to do that. Me, I just learned it from the comedy, and I started doing it to my husband. If he wants to, I say it's your baby, oh, it's not me. Oh." I'll tell him it's your baby, oh, it's not me, oh. Honestly, it's not me. It's actually your baby, and he will go and do it. Okay, yeah. Someone said, "How are you preparing for maternity leave?" Hmm. Maternity leave is been on my mind. See, I was coming back from church today and I just screamed, "Oh!" And my husband looked at me and said, "What's it?" I said, "Tomorrow is Monday." And then he said, I said, "Tomorrow is Monday. I'm going back to work." That kind of that kind of thing. So yeah, I wish I can start maternity leave today. From tomorrow, let's say maternity leave has started because you know I can't wait for it. I can't wait to take a break from work because this pregnancy is taking a toll on me. Being pregnant and working full time is not easy,
I
especially for
agree.
the job I do.
Mhm.
It's so stressful. So I'm just preparing. I think I already have a date in mind. I've discussed it with my manager. I still will wait till I have my next midwife appointment because here in the UK, there is a form you have to get. The hospital will have to confirm week of expected date of delivery. So your workplace, it's not just you coming to tell them, oh, my EDD is this. They have to see the evidence. As a form, is it math, A or whatever? There is a name it's called. So I'll get that from my midwife,
Huh?
my next appointment, and then I'll submit it to my workplace, and then I'll tell them this. They'll see my EDD. Then that can also help the day I will start my maternity
It,
leave. Because
it's called
personally, yeah.
it's called the Mat B form.
Yeah, Mat B form,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's Mat B. I think the one my office I will fill in my office is the Mat A form. Yeah, the Mat B form. So I'm going to get that from my midwife. My next appointment with that, I'm going to apply for my maternity leave. But my manager already knows the days I'm planning because I want my maternity leave to start the week of my EDD week. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean, don't get me wrong. Don't worry. I have my plan. There's no way I'll work till then. So I'm
Okay.
entitled to annual leave. That's the advantage of having a full time job. So I hope to take annual leave about 2 to 3 weeks if they will allow. For now, we are not sure if they will allow me to take 4 weeks of annual leave. That's a long one. But I know they can allow me to take 3 weeks. I've seen people take 3 weeks of annual leave. So I hope to take at least 3 weeks of annual leave. Then after the 3 weeks, my EDD, I will now take my maternity leave. So that's my plan. So more like 1 month before delivery, I will stop work. You get, yeah. So that's actually my plan. So that's how I'm planning for maternity leave. It's still far. I wish it can be today, honestly, because I'm tired of work. I'm tired of work. I'm tired. Some days I feel so unmotivated, but I just have to go. I agree with you, honestly. The journey is a journey. Oh. It's not an easy journey. It's always very difficult. Some people actually have smooth pregnancies. To be honest, some people it's so I can't wait to hear someone. Please, people, you can join us. Don't forget, you
Um.
can just use the link. Go on.
Okay. My wife, she's been on leave for the last 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and she also wanted to come and share her own experience
Oh, that's
right
good.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's just feeding the baby. In a moment, she'll be done and she'll be joining to explain. Because she's
Yeah.
also having a permanent job here,
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
yeah, and she had to take leave, and she's supposed to be going back to work as from May this year.
Oh, me. Oh,
Yeah.
it's still a bit far.
Yeah, so
Wow.
she'll come and share the main experience, because
Yeah.
I'm just like husband man.
Well, I'm happy you are sharing your experience. You know, when I was preparing for this, I was like, I wish men will know that this is not just about women. I really want to hear men's
Yeah,
story.
it's not just
How they
about women.
felt, when their wives were pregnant or their partners were pregnant. It's
Mm.
really it kind of creates that balance, okay,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
men will also hear, what it feels like, so that we
Hmm.
two women will understand, because we women tend to blow our own trumpet. Pregnancy is not easy. It's not easy. Then men should also come and tell us, is it easy on them? Is it easy on them? Of course, their own experience will be different from our own, but it still doesn't make it easier for them. Oh, yeah, me too. I can't wait to see the baby. Me, my gender reveal is still coming up. I can't wait. I don't even know anything
Oh,
about this baby. I don't know the gender. I don't know anything about. I only know I have a baby, okay? And of course, I can't wait for all of that. And
mm.
definitely can't wait for the baby to come. How do you cope with work? How do I cope with work? So for me, I made a mistake. I think I'm not sure if I shared it in detail in one video. I made a terrible mistake during my first trimester. So I was having all my symptoms. It was very bad. I was feeling unmotivated to go to work. I will be at work. I'll be having this constant headache, this dizziness. It was so terrible then. But for whatever reason, I'm an immigrant, yeah, and culture differs. I was having this problem that I don't know how they will feel. I don't know where I got that impression, but I know that people can be like that. You know how when you tell somebody you are experiencing something, for instance, I now say, I can't walk, I'm sick. Please, maybe you call in sick because you are not feeling well. And some people will be like, are you the first person to get pregnant? You know, people do that on some certain things. I remember one time I was telling somebody that I don't think I can cope with this girl. This girl is difficult to handle. And the person was like, are you the first person to handle her? We have been living with her and we've not died. Are you the first person? So people sometimes find it difficult to understand individual differences. They will expect that you should do this because other people are doing it. Okay. So I was having that fear that if I call in sick because I'm pregnant, how will my colleagues react? And mind you, this is the first time I'll be talking about sick leave. Most of my time here in the UK, I've always been a student. Okay. And when I did my first job for 3 months, I was not sick. Okay. Now I'm sick. I don't know the policy. So I made that mistake. What annoys me most is that whenever I come to work, I'll be complaining. If you ask me, not everybody, my colleagues in my team, they'll ask me, you okay? I'll say no. The normal, you're right, that they always ask in this country, I'll say no. I will tell you I'm not feeling well. And then they will be like, oh, you'll be all right. It's the symptoms. Don't worry, after 12 weeks, you will feel better. No problem. So I kept forcing myself to go to work. I was doing all of that. I was unmotivated, and it kind of affected me. That's why I regret it, because later on, I remember some days I will come to the office because I always go to the office. I can work from home, but if I decide to work from home, I won't do anything in that state. I'll be in bed. So I force myself. And some days, once the headache and dizziness become serious, I have a hideout in the office. There is a place I will go. I will sit there for 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes. I will just rest my head like this. I will just be vibrating. I will just be crying some days, but nobody sees me, you know. So all of these things were happening to me. It was a struggle, and I know how I'm feeling. And I used to tell my colleagues, I don't want to call in sick. I don't want to call in sick. And for me, personally, I was expecting maybe they will be like, they will give me an advice. But you are not fit to work. You are struggling. Why not take sick leave? It's because I don't know the policy around sick leave and all of that then. And I didn't want to offend anybody. My team then, we were struggling. You know, we are short staff. So I didn't want to leave, because if I leave, all my cases, okay, all my cases, I will usually wonder who will handle them. My team will struggle, and I will remain doing all of this. But all these acts actually landed me in trouble later. Because some days, there was a day I came, somebody called in sick and was not around, and they needed to help with some stuff. And they called me, you need to do this, you need to go on this visit, you need to do this one. And I told them, I'm so sorry. I don't think I'll be able to do this. I'm just managing myself. As I'm here, I don't think I can go out. I'm just sitting down here. I can do my own work. I can write my own assessment. I can manage to do that. But going out to meet families, and mind you, I was always frowning my face because I was having headache. I don't want in that countenance to go to visit people. But they didn't understand it. So apparently I learned it later. In this country, in case you are an immigrant, learn it and learn it from me. Don't make the mistake I made. It's either you are in work or you are not in work. Is the long and short version of it. It's either you are in work or you are not in work. So when you are in work, you are expected to perform 100%. So if you can't perform 100%, simply call in sick and they will know you are not there. But once you are there, even if you are dying and you are telling them you are dying, many of them will not even give you advice to go home. Because if it's in Nigeria, in my country, I can imagine when you are not feeling well and you tell somebody you are not feeling well, that person will advise you. Why not go and take care of yourself? Why not go home? Go home and take care of yourself. But nobody will tell you that too. You know, that kind of thing. So eventually, it landed me in trouble because people started saying things about me, that I'm not happy at work, I'm always frowning. Why am I frowning? I'm having constant headache. I'm pregnant, is my symptom. It's not like I'm frowning because I hate my job. People started saying that I don't do teamwork, I don't work in a team, because they will come to me to come and do this, and I'll tell them in a polite way, please, I'm sorry, I don't think I'll be able to. Please. There was one day they needed to go and carry some stuffs from downstairs, upstairs. Everybody in the office, we are leaving. They just said, everybody in the floor. And I just told them, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling all right. I won't be able to do it, which is true. Because if I had forced myself to go and do that, probably I would have fainted because I was not feeling myself. But they won't take that from you because you are in work. It's either you are not there or you are there. So it kind of landed me in that trouble. When I finally found out, ending of December, I called in sick for 1 week. Mind you, I wasn't feeling better. I carried myself and I went back to work again. And that week, so nothing for me, nothing happened. It was just a coincidence, but they were reading meaning into everything I was doing. And eventually, so many things were said about me, about my practice, which when I heard, oh my gosh, the way I cried there, oh my gosh, I cried like really. But eventually, I finally learned my lesson, and January, I didn't work throughout January. I didn't. I couldn't resume because December Christmas period was horrible for me. I went to my doctor and I got a sick note. Okay, so with a sick note, because in this country you can self-certify for 1 week. For instance, if tomorrow I'm not feeling well, I'll just call and say I'm sick. I can stay at home for 1 week without any doctor's report. Then by next week, I need to go back to work. But if I'm not fit to come back to work next week, I need to go back to my GP and get a sick note, which they will use to exempt me. And mind you, if you have a full-time job, you are entitled to sick leave. So what that means is that they will still be paying you your salary even when you are off sick. So for me, when I was just telling myself, I can't lose anything. If I had them during my first trimester, when my symptoms were at its peak, I could have just called and said I'm not feeling well. Go to my doctor, get a sick note, and for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I'm not in work. I'll still be earning my salary. But I don't stand to lose anything. But because of lack of information, I didn't understand the work policy, work ethics, that if you are, all those stuff, I was forcing myself. And I thought I was doing people good. I'm helping my team. But it's this same team that later on turned and said that I don't work in a team. I don't do teamwork. So that's why it was heartbreaking for me. So I made that mistake. So I coped by going on sick leave for 1 month. Then when I came back, I was now better. I was already I think I went back to work at 16 weeks because my symptoms persisted even after 12 weeks. So I think it was either as at 14, 15, 16 weeks. That's when I went back to work, and then I was okay. And I've been fine, okay? Except lately that work is overwhelming. The shortage of staff is killing, okay? And, it's becoming overwhelming, but I'm still pushing it, and I can't wait to go on maternity leave. So that's how I've been coping with work. So right now, if anything happens to me, I don't feel okay. And that's the advantage of having a full-time job. Because if you're working with an agency, sorry, you can't. Sometimes, because if you go off no pay, it's more like you are earning as you go, as a part-time or as an agency staff. So if you're working in an agency, that's the disadvantage. So one advice I will give you is, if you are still bearing children, if you still hope to give birth to children, bear children, don't think about agency. You will benefit from something like this sick leave, and you will also benefit from maternity leave. But once you are doing agency work, nobody is paying you for maternity. Nobody is giving you sick leave. Nobody is giving you annual leave. So if you are still at this childbearing stage of your life, please look for a full-time job, because you stand to benefit all this. And that's how I've been coping with work, to answer that.
How many years to qualify?
Yeah. Is your wife ready to talk now? I think I
Yeah.
cited her.
She's ready to talk. Here she is.
Hi, madam. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell us, what are your experiences? What would you say? Was it difficult? Was it smooth? What are you eager to share when it comes to your pregnancy journey?
I think mine was not that hard. But the only thing I suffered with was pelvic pain. What? That thing
Oh.
was so terrible. I could just sit down for a few minutes. When I stand up, I could not walk again.
Wow.
Yeah, so I came here when I was pregnant and I had to report to work and do the OSCE. So going to classes to revise for
Yeah.
OSCE with the pregnancy. Then I went to the hospital, but I could not work because it was a mental hospital. I was
Wow.
given leave immediately. So I've never
Hmm.
worked since I came to the UK, but
Wow.
I'm planning to go back soon.
Wow. That's interesting.
And
I've had some
nausea
people.
was so bad.
Really? That's the
Yeah,
funny thing for me. Okay, I don't have morning sickness, but my sense of smell was so serious that
yeah.
if I
Sense of
smell
smell is
something,
also heightened.
then my own was so bad. If my husband pees, I don't know for whatever reason. I think his pee is so concentrated. If my husband finish using the toilet and flush, pee, oh, just pee and flush, and I enter there and I just smell, I would be, that's what usually trigger my throwing up immediately, honestly. So that's the only thing. But for me, normally, maybe waking up, nausea, morning sickness, it never happened to me. I threw up a few times just when I just learned some smells I don't like. Some food smells I don't like. I started avoiding it because those are the only things that will make me kind of throw up. But throughout, I never had morning sickness. As a matter of fact, when I missed my period and I thought I could be pregnant because I have regular flow. I've never had missed period or irregular flow. But then I was expecting morning sickness because that's what I thought is a sign of pregnancy. I was expecting morning sickness. 1 week, two, no morning sickness, and all of that. And I just said, okay, eventually test proved it. After I just saw that I missed my period, because I began to suspect that I was pregnant even before my missed period. But because I wasn't throwing up, I said, I'm just playing with my head. It's not true. So I didn't have, all of that. So it's just so different for me. Another thing that maybe I would like us to talk about is fears during pregnancy. I used to have fears until lately. My fears is mostly, are you sure there is a baby in this womb? Is that really a baby inside here? It was until lately, in my second trimester, that I started feeling baby movements. Then I calmed down. But to be honest with you, if you allow me, I'll be going to scan every week because I was so afraid and I needed that reassurance. Devil started playing with my head at some point. Oh God. There is nothing. And maybe I watch a video. There was one video I watched then, somebody that had miscarriage. The thing
Mm.
just clouded my head. The fear was everywhere. Miscarriage became as if it's so real to me, and I was so afraid. I remember I kept telling my husband, please, let's start praying. I don't know why. And of course, I just remembered what usually helped me, battle spirit of fear. Because I always know this about, like, the Bible. Job was saying something that what I feared has happened to me. The thing I feared has happened to me. So sometimes when I start having fears like that, if I remember that, I'll say, God forbid. My fear will not happen to me. I will start praying. I will start rebuking the spirit of fear. And I remember the very day I prayed that prayer, that was what helped me. And it happened like magic. That fear disappeared, honestly. But then after watching that video, it was a YouTube video. This couple, they've been trying for baby for some time. They are a young couple, and then they found out she was pregnant. It was so lovely. They found out they were doing everything. I think when they went for their first scan, that was when they said they couldn't feel the heartbeat of the baby. They call it missed miscarriage because in her own case, she did not bleed. She didn't even bleed. So she didn't even know she has miscarried the baby. They called it missed miscarriage. So what they told her is either she should be praying that the baby will come out, like she will bleed out, or they'll have to do surgery to bring it out. I hope, because I now started following them. I was so curious, and eventually, I think the baby just came out. She didn't need to go through surgery. So when I heard that story, I was so afraid. So many things were happening to me. I would just, and then after praying that prayer, I told my husband we are praying about it every morning. But one day, I took the bull by the horn, the way I fired prayer, and that's how it left. That's how I've not had that fear. And even for whatever reason, sometimes, I think at 12 weeks, 13 weeks, people were asking me, have you started feeling baby movement? I'll look like this. I'll say no. When I went for my 16 weeks midwife appointment, when I went for that appointment, my midwife asked me about baby movement. I said no. And I told her I'm actually worried. And then my stomach wasn't as big as I thought it would be. So these are some of the fears. My stomach will just, I'll be like, are you sure? Because I know usually I have a big stomach. So every morning, whenever I wake up, the first thing I do is to stand in front of the mirror and look at my stomach. And it will look like it's not growing. I'll be like, what is happening now? Oh, this baby is okay. Oh, this baby is fine. I'll be having this fear. I'll just be like, what is going on here? Are you sure there's still a baby here? Then when I went for my 20-week scan, no, before I went for my scan, that was when my midwife said that thing about mother at risk pregnancy. This, I was so, what is going on? Then when I went for my 20-week scan, they said they couldn't find some things that we need to come back. Hey, what are you not seeing? I'm coming back. But thank God, when I went back the second time, they found everything, and sonographer didn't raise any concern. But I'm waiting to go and meet my midwife. Let me hear what she will say again, because they will always see the whole story. Because I think sonographers sometimes might be careful. They won't tell you some things, because you might just start there in that room with the equipment there. Somebody might start reacting and damage some things. So it's when you go to your midwife, they will tell you. And I think there is an app they call Tommy's app. For that app, I know I've registered in it, but it's still not clear. I'm still going to go through that with my midwife, where you can check whatever. Okay. So I used to have that fear. I don't know if there is anybody that has, have those kind of fears. Maybe you can share with us did you have any fear, any anxiety? Maybe is the baby still there? My stomach is not growing. Even till today, I still do it. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is to stand in front of the mirror. I'll raise my clothes and look at my stomach to check, is it growing? Is it growing? But for me, since my baby started and now, even talking about baby movement, maybe this will help someone. That's why I'm sharing it freely. They used to call it kick. They say baby is kicking. Baby is kicking. When my own movement started, it was not what you know as a kick. It's not like a kick. Yes, it's not like a kick. Because for me, as a birth, I'm like, what's going on? Hope this. But then, do you know the reason I give now? My husband is very quiet. My husband is a jeje, quiet man. So I'll be like, maybe my baby is like my husband. My baby is not turbulent. It's not moving to kick me out. Maybe when I keep going on, I think it's you. I don't know if you are muted, but we can't hear you. I don't know why. I'm struggling to hear you now. I don't know why. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's very faint.
No.
Probably if you leave, you can come back.
Yeah,
Maybe try that. Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Personally, I think the fear that I had after the baby started kicking, she could go like the whole day without kicking. I was so worried. I used to call my husband. I can't hear the baby kicking. My husband was, what are you saying? You mean the baby is not kicking? Should we take you to the hospital? But after some time, he just came to realize that she doesn't kick the whole day. It is part of the day and partly at night when I'm about to sleep. And the other thing, I was so clingy to my husband until one day he told me that I'm tired of you. You are everywhere he goes, even if it is the toilet. Where are you going? Can I go with you?
Oh my God. Wow.
But
Wow.
finally,
That
finally the baby came. Even my stomach was not that big. I used to send him pictures daily. Every
from your
time I wake
stomach.
up, I take a picture. See, there's a baby bump here. I mark it with a small
Yeah.
with a small ink to show him. But after some time, the bump was so big.
Just
It
came
was
out,
like,
right?
no.
Honestly, those are my fears. But this thing you say is reassuring. For me, I think for now, I feel my baby movement. I won't even call it kick. I still don't feel confident saying that is a kick because I will know it's moving. For me, it's just like a normal movement, not like kick.
Yeah.
Maybe the kick will come later, maybe when the baby is gone or maybe
Yeah.
close to delivery. But then I used to feel that movement. But this is reassuring when you say that some days you will not feel the kick and you think that something is wrong, because you can also have those fears and it will be like, what is going on? For
Yeah.
me, even till yesterday, for me it usually happen. I usually wake up at night, baby position, no, my sleeping position
Yeah, you have
matters
to
to me.
check every
Some
night.
days,
Every time you turn, you have to check. Am I sleeping on the back? No. We
yeah,
go
or
back to sleep
maybe I
again.
hope I'm not sleeping on my baby's head. I'll be like, oh my God, hope I'm not on my baby's head. I will turn. Some days I'll lie like this because I don't know what position again to like. I will lie on my left. I'll be like, is this where the baby head is? Or is this, all those fears? I still have it, but sometimes I'll just tell myself, please, baby girl, relax. Why are you overthinking? Well, I think probably it's because it's my first pregnancy. Okay,
Yeah.
but these are some of the fears that I entertain about my sleeping position. I'll be like, where, even sometimes my husband will come and be touching myself. Where is the head? Where is the leg? I'll be like, I don't know anything. It's not so visible yet, and all of that. But sometimes when I just sleep, maybe I wake up like this. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I've been sleeping on this position for how many hours now? What if my baby's head is there and I've been sleeping on the whole head of my Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, it's so real. That's actually what I experience. Fear about if baby's still there, but like I said, my baby moves. So sometimes whenever it moves, like it gives me this reassurance. So if you are listening, probably you never can tell when it will happen to you, just know that your baby is fine. Please don't entertain fear. These are the tools that the devil the tools that the devil use to manipulate you, play with your mind, give you unnecessary unrest. Okay, but just know, relax. Peace, be still. Just know that everything is fine. So they say baby's head is safe. It's safe for a man, but I just can't help. But I don't know why I worry so much about that. Honestly, someone just joined us. Ra, welcome. If you can hear
Hello,
us,
Favor.
hi. Thank you so much for joining.
I'm glad to be
Um,
here. Hi, sister.
yeah,
Sorry, I don't know your name.
The Kamalos family.
Oh, okay. Good
Yeah.
evening.
Evening.
yeah. Do you want to just join the conversation anywhere? Do you have experiences about baby and everything? Just share with
Um,
us.
Not really. Maybe from my nieces and nephews.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any fears that they shared with you, like your sisters or your sisters-in-law, did they share anything, that
Oh,
is what like this
yeah.
thing?
Oh, of
Okay,
course. But then I think the experience is different for different
everybody.
women. Yeah.
Mm,
Some
yeah.
people, like some of my friends that they got pregnant. Some, it was a very scary time for them. Like
Mm.
a very, like, it was totally different from the pre-pregnancy period compared to when
Oh,
they are
wow.
pregnant. They said that they do feel like a different person entirely. But then after the baby is born, then they're like, oh, was I the one doing all those all those things during the pregnancy period?
Yeah.
Then they become another person entirely again after the baby is born.
Mm.
I can still remember one incident. I went to visit one of my friends. So she was
Yeah.
pregnant at that time. And this particular lady, she doesn't really like food like that. So when I
Yeah.
went to visit her, she went to she said there's a particular bread that she
Okay.
loves, and she wants me to try the bread, that I'm going to love the bread also. And because we are both in the UK now, and most of the bread here is not really, like, it's really really difficult to get the one that tastes like
Yeah.
Nigeria
Like,
bread.
yeah, exactly.
So she said she's going to buy the bread, maybe brioche or something, I can't remember now. So she went
Yeah.
to but she went to get the bread. Then on getting home, she sat down, she made tea for me. Then I
Yeah.
started eating the bread, and I was like, oh wow, this bread is really really sweet. And the next night I just noticed that she took the bread away from my from my from the table. And I'm like, really, what is going on? She said, did I want to finish the bread all at once? I said, but you bought it for me. It was so funny that day. Then I was like, oh, you're pregnant. Okay, I'm not going to take this personal. Whenever I remember that incident, I'm like, and no, on a normal day, she doesn't really like bread. She doesn't eat bread.
Hmm.
But that
Yeah.
day she was like, no, I'm going to take this away from you. You're not going to finish this bread.
Finish my bread. You know, I've noticed that about myself. I usually say it. I'm jealous. I know I'm selfish with my cravings. You know, I'm very selfish with my cravings. I don't know why, but I'm very selfish with my cravings. Anything I'm craving, if my husband say he wants it, I will not give it to him.
Is it not?
I
Is it
yeah, no,
presently?
yeah, presently.
Oh,
I would
okay.
I would tell my husband, I will start if I count how many times I've called my husband longer throats since this pregnancy, you will not. You know, some days I want to go and make my bread and egg, which is my craving. My husband will say he wants to eat. I'll say no. You should eat something else. Must you eat what I'm eating? No, please. I don't eat. My husband doesn't eat what I eat. Even if he wants to eat what I eat, I'll rather change it. Me and you can't eat the same thing. I'll be like, leave my cravings for me now. What's your problem?
Really?
Leave my crave. Honestly, I'm so
Wow.
selfish with my cravings, and I can't explain that attitude because I'm not like that. Usually, me and my husband we eat together until I became pregnant. We don't eat together again because we don't eat the same thing. I started
Oh,
craving crunchy nuts. I went and bought the Kellogg's, that big one. I bought crunchy nuts. My husband took it once and liked it. I had to go and hide it.
so
Huh.
that I will not
I had
finish.
to, I had to go and hide it. What else did I buy? If I buy granite, my husband for one likes granite, which I know. But because of him, I'll go and hide it. And there was one day I now brought it out. He saw where I hid it and he ate it. That day, I almost did not talk to him. I'm like, what is it? Why only my cravings for me? What is it? Like, and you will now be using that word. My dad used to say that what a pregnant woman is craving, her husband is also craving. I'll say, no, leave my cravings for me. I can't remember the last time I made bread and egg for my husband because that's my craving. Even if he says that's what he wants to eat, I'll just tell him, sorry, oh, can you find something else to eat? I've not been a good wife.
Oh,
This pregnancy turned me into a bad wife. I don't give my husband what he wants to eat. As far as that's what I want
oh,
to eat, I will say no. So I understand your friend. It can
yeah.
be like that. She went and snatch it from you. Please don't come and finish my bread for me. So I think these are some of the crazy things that pregnancy can make you do that you just come back.
Sincerely, sincerely. And then again, I have another friend. When she was pregnant, I think I don't really know what's happened, but then her husband never. They don't sleep together in the same room.
Yeah.
Anytime she's going to sleep, the husband will be like he's going to carry the pillows, carry a blanket, and then run to the sitting room. And I'm like, what is going on? Why are you guys not sleeping together in the same room? So there was a day I now asked the husband that was going on. She said, oh, you can't understand, don't worry, but I'm not sleeping in the same room with her. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't know. So I'm
Me
just
and my husband,
so
I think it's common. All these things you are saying, I can relate. There is this on our bed. The headboard has like 6 squares on the headboard. Whenever my husband sleeps, sometimes my husband doesn't sleep straight. But you need to see where me and my husband is dragging space on the bed. I'll be showing him. Count one, two, three. Eh? Don't cross this. In short, you should even be sleeping in two. I've told you one day you should be sleeping in two and leave four for me because I'm pregnant. I'll be pushing him away. He will just turn and say, I said, move now, shift. What is it? Look at the. So I also drag bed. It's
Poss-
crazy, but I also drag
maybe
bed with my husband.
possibly because of the space. Maybe that is why he's always running away.
Yeah, probably because see, it's not easy. Oh. Especially when like probably towards the end. For now, it's beginning to happen to me. I usually feel so heavy in front. If I want to
Oh,
turn like this, it's
yeah.
just something else. So that might be the reason. But my husband will never. Sure, I'm sure I trust him. He will never leave the bed for me. Instead, we die them. For what? But pregnancy is so crazy. I think someone join us. Gwen, are you there? Hi, thank you for joining.
Favor, I
Hi.
think I have to go and check the baby.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you so much. With your husband, thank you so much for joining. My regards to the baby as well. She's blessed.
Okay, and the people watching, follow us on the Kamolos family.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to subscribe. Kamolo's family. Thank you very much. That's
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, take
Okay.
care. Yeah, Gwen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you faintly though.
Okay. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
It's been a while. I think I started following you since last year.
Oh,
That was when I started my social work admission. I was
oh,
searching for something on the internet, and then your YouTube video popped up, and then I watched it, and instantly the connection, and I'm like, wow, see my Anambra sister, and she's already in UK. She's
oh.
studying social work. What a coincidence! And
Mm,
since then, I've been following your activities here on YouTube.
yeah.
And coincidentally, I'm pregnant. And
Oh, wow.
uh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Congratulations, too.
Thank
So,
you.
and it also happened that it was the same period that you announced your pregnancy. And I'm like, wow, really?
Wow.
I'm close to 7 months now. And
Wow.
I found out that I was pregnant just I think few days after I picked up my visa in Nigeria.
Oh.
So combining that with social work,
Oh,
so
tell me
social
about
work studies and all of that. So it's been crazy. Some of the things you've been saying, I could just relate. Like in my
mm,
head, I'm like, oh, thank God it's not just me. Thank God I'm not alone
so,
in this. Like sometimes I keep second guessing myself. I keep asking myself, what am I even doing? Do I even like do you know the parts I could actually that was so apt for me was I think in one of your earlier videos you mentioned that in the morning that you find it difficult to vocalize your prayers, and I'm like, oh my god, so
yeah.
it's not just me. Like
Yeah, I
I felt that period I felt so guilty. Like when I wake up in the morning, instead of me to just open my mouth and say, Father Lord, I thank you, I'll just be saying it in my heart.
know.
And
Exactly.
sometimes I feel like, oh, does this prayer actually work? Does it really count as in that I've said my prayers today?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
then when I heard you say it on one of your videos, I'm like, okay, insurance covers me then. I can as well carry on. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then of course the though I don't have a lot of craving, eating at this point for me is a bit of a hassle. I think I was with my midwife last week,
Yeah.
and she kept saying that I'm losing weight.
Mm.
So for me, eating is a problem because
Wow.
I don't have cravings. When I
Yeah.
have cravings, it disappears almost immediately.
Definitely. Hmm.
Okay, I will tell myself, oh, today I'm going to try ofada sauce. I've not had that in a while. I'll
Hmm.
just go to the African shop, buy stuff, start cooking it. By the time I'm done, I don't want to eat it anymore. I will say,
Hmm.
okay, today is bitter leaf soup. I will make bitter leaf. After making it, I don't want to eat it again.
Wow.
Maybe after that day, the next day or in 2 days' time, I can come back and try it. And
Yeah.
I'll be, oh, the food is actually nice. But why was it tasting rubbish in my mouth after I made it? So
Hmm.
for me, feeding is the problem for me. And also I still throw up at this point.
Wow.
So the midwife said is normal. If I wake up in the morning and I try to brush my teeth, sometimes I try to avoid my tongue and just use the mouthwash. And for where
Thank
the
you.
moment the brush comes close,
Thank you.
everything comes out,
I
comes
don't
running
brush
out.
on some I don't brush on some days, but I never let it pass one day. Good for
Yeah.
me, like for me, it's good that I don't even have anything like not even half inch or anything of mouth odor. So it kind of helps me because
Ah,
sometimes
nice.
when I tell my husband, I say, I'm not even you know I didn't brush yesterday. He'll be like, eh? I say, "Ah, God blessed me. You know that kind of thing. I don't
Yeah,
brush on some days. And some days if I wake up very, very hungry, and I just eat something immediately. Forget I
yeah,
can't brush. If I the few days I've tried it, I finished eating and few hours I went to brush. Everything I ate earlier, I will vomit it. So
yeah,
immediately I learned that whenever I just don't feel like brushing, I don't.
yeah,
I'll force myself to brush. Even some days I won't throw up anything. I'll just be there, just doing, be spitting. Nothing will come out, but
yeah,
it's hot in
yeah.
my
It
stomach.
happens to me in the morning when I'm throwing up in the
Yeah,
morning. Food doesn't come out, it's just saliva,
yeah,
water, saliva that keeps coming out, and it's crazy. And some other days when I'm hungry, maybe I get to school because of that I don't eat breakfast. I'll just wake up, go get to school. Then by the time I'm coming back, maybe I will maybe buy hot chocolate in school or buy snacks and some things or maybe sandwich or something and eat in school,
yeah,
and I'm okay. Then by the time I'm getting home, I'm so hungry, I'm famished, and the moment I enter, I say, okay, let me warm this and eat. I will now use that hunger and I will start eating, devouring the food, and the next thing, everything comes rushing out.
hmm,
So the moment is out, the next thing I want to do is just want to rest. I don't want to eat again.
I
Or even
know.
if I will continue eating, I'll have to wait a bit. Or even if I'm going to eat it. So because of that, when I'm eating, my eating now takes time. It's not like
Hmm.
before, like within 20 minutes, I'm done eating. Now I take time. Sometimes I try to use my phone to distract myself when I'm eating. So I don't go throwing up again.
Yeah, you don't think about yeah.
Yeah. So
And I think that part of throwing up is one difficult part of pregnancy. I don't know.
yes,
Because
yes,
it because normally, usually let's say people that I think even pausing, maybe there are some things that when it happens to you normally, let's say you are not even pregnant, some things happen to you, the experience is always horrible, you know.
mm,
But for me, I don't have morning sickness. I didn't have. I only threw up few times, maybe when
you're
I
blessed.
perceived something or
Yeah,
when I forced myself to eat what I didn't want to eat, then it
mm,
ends up coming out. But I don't have. But sometimes I just imagine what it's like when I hear people saying that they have morning sickness. I know it must be horrible because the few times I've had it, it's like a part of me will just leave. I'll be so weak. I'll be so
yeah,
tired. And
yeah.
I
That's what happens to
imagine
me.
yeah, I can't imagine having it like every day for people that do. But for me, it's just that headache part and
Yeah,
dizziness. It dealt
yeah,
with me. Oh my gosh. It dealt
yeah,
with me. I was always frowning. And I don't know when you joined, but like I was saying earlier, people in my office started taking it out
yeah,
on me, saying
yeah,
that it's like I don't enjoy my job. People started speculating that,
yeah. I heard
maybe,
when you were saying that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I don't enjoy
For
my
me,
job.
right now in school, at some point, my lecturers they were asking me if I'm coping. And
Hmm,
then my personal tutor was like, one of the days I went to have a meeting with her, she was like,
yeah,
why don't you differ? Social work
hmm,
is very stressful. And then you're doing it with the pregnancy. You have to
pregnancy.
put yourself first. And I'm like, You don't know what you're saying. I say, ma, I'm saying we die here. I'm
I
not this.
be- Honestly, I can imagine.
I, I'm not
I
differing
had a
anything.
I had a classmate that gave birth in our first year.
Yeah.
She actually gave birth. Oh my gosh, it was noise. But for her, it was her second baby. And
Mm,
we didn't even know. Some people didn't even know that she was pregnant. Her stomach wasn't that obvious, according to them. But me, I knew she was pregnant when we started the program and
yeah.
all of that, And she put to bed. I think she just took 1 week or 2 weeks. She started coming for lectures. Of course, she doesn't stay to the end and all of that, but she pulled through. I saw her last 2 weeks Saturday. I went for a
Mm,
birthday party. I saw her. I saw the baby. I said, "Oh my God, look at this baby! This baby that was born when we started our program. He has so grown, obviously."
wow. Mm,
So I think it won't be easy, especially for social work, having lectures 4 times a week. Then when you now
yeah.
start placement, the only thing is that you should
Mm,
just pray for favor in your
mm,
placement. If you have a good practice educator, if you have a good
yes.
supervisor, they will be
Yeah.
supportive. One thing that helped me with this my workplace crisis was my consultant, my ASYE consultant. She is
Mm,
so good. She was one that told my manager, she was like, I don't think you understand how bad this was for her. Because I was always talking to her. She was one that
mm,
told her that I've always like I was trying not to disappoint anybody. That was why I kept coming. And she spoke for me. I remember when I wanted to come back from my sick leave earlier after my first 2 weeks, she was one that told me, don't come back. She already knew what was going on in the office. So she
yeah.
outrightly had kind of advised me because I still told her how I felt and she said no. So she had my back. Even my manager was at some point when she saw how the thing affected me, she became so supportive of me. It was a
That's
difficult
good.
conversation for her to have to tell me that people are saying this about you, that kind of thing. But she
Yeah.
had it with me. When I was crying, she hugged me. She went and brought tissue for me. Oh my gosh, she
Oh,
felt so bad, honestly.
bless her.
So I think when you have the right people around you, they will always be
Yeah.
there to, support you, to defend you, and that makes a lot of difference, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, pregnancy journey is not easy. But I've heard some people say some things about postpartum, whatever. Then you'll be like, so there is something worse than this. I don't know
Than
if
pregnancy.
I know people that maybe that have given birth before, it will be
Mm.
worth asking them, like, which one? Like, what do you think? The other time I was talking about pregnancy brain. I now heard that pregnancy brain is nothing compared to mom
Ah,
brain.
pregnancy brain has happened to me several times. I've forgotten my phone in different places.
Oh my
Lost my
gosh.
house key. What else? Different
Oh
things that have happened. Oh my gosh.
my
And then you're now
God.
saying that
That
that is
another
even
one
the
is
little part of it. Another thing that started of recent in my whole life, because this is my first baby. In my
yeah.
whole life, I've never had problem with sleeping.
Mm,
But with this, within the last 1 month, sleeping
mm.
has become a chore. If
Wow.
I just sleep in the afternoon or anything makes me keep my head and sleep in the afternoon, I'll be awake 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I'm still awake, struggling to sleep.
It
I
happens to
don't
me if
know.
I sleep early. I
If,
will wake up middle of the night till 5, 6, I'll feel sleepy again. It does
yeah,
happen to me.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
always 5 sleep that I feel sleepy. Five,
Mm,
6, I'm
yeah.
always very sleepy. 5, 6, 7, I'm feeling
Yeah,
like
the
I
same
shouldn't
thing
get
is
out of
happening
bed.
to me. Yeah, if I wake up to pee, oh God, should we talk about peeing? I don't know about
Eh,
other people, but
oh my God, that's a nightmare.
my own is worse. Do you know I will go to pee, I'll finish peeing. Then I'll stand up to clean up myself. As I'm using the tissue, pee is dropping. I don't know if this
Yes,
happens to anyone else, but that
yes,
one is one I
yes.
can't understand.
You never get finishes. You never finish.
I'm like, what is wrong? I thought I'll finish. I will now stand up to clean up myself. Before you know it, like so many times I've had to change my pant because I will wet myself.
Mm.
I'm like, what is
Me-
going on? Someone
It
told me it will
happens
even
to me
get
too.
worse.
It happens to me too. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I will be getting that sign of, oh, I need to pee, I need to pee. Sometimes
Gosh.
I'll feel like, oh, maybe sometimes I'll feel like I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Then by the time I wake up, droplet has dropped on my pants.
Oh,
I have droplets of pee in my pants. I will now have to get up, rush into the bedroom, change the pants, try to wee. Afterwards, I will be getting, for me to get up, I'll be feeling the
yeah.
sensation that it hasn't stopped, it hasn't finished. There's more that still want to come out.
Oh,
So
wow. It's good to
sometimes
know
I just sit
because
down there. Sometimes I sit down there for as long as I can.
you
That's what
can.
I
Wow.
do.
Honestly, the thing is, that's the one that started driving me crazy. I think it started happening about 4, 6 weeks ago, and I
Mm,
didn't understand it. I'm like, is anything wrong with me? I know that the frequent urination is part of it, but I never knew
mm,
about this part. And
yeah.
sometimes, like, I'll just feel like peeing. Immediately,
I,
I'll go to
I
the
think
if
it has something to do with the as the baby grows, because the weight of the baby is now
mm,
making your bladder to be weak to
we,
retain urine. That's the problem. I think
yeah,
I asked my midwife the last time I went, and she kind of tried to explain it. She said it's normal,
mm,
that some people is even worse.
hmm,
For some people, they find it very difficult to even keep in urine. So she said, as long as it keeps coming, I should just make sure I get to release myself, because before it becomes desperate. I shouldn't get to that point where I'm desperate. That was
yeah,
one of the things she advised. She said it's the baby. As the
oh,
baby grows, the weight of the baby on your
yeah.
bladder and all of that.
Oh, that's interesting. I think
Hmm.
we have someone here. Amazing, amazing. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hello,
Um,
favor.
yeah,
Hi.
we'd love to hear you. Yeah, just feel free, join us in the conversation. Do you have any stories, any experiences to share with us on pregnancy journey?
Yes, in fact, you people are so blessed and so lucky.
Wow,
Yours came very easy. I was
wow,
just laughing when you were saying some people chew up. You need to ask me that story. The first
wow,
trimester, the first 3 months, I was throwing up back and forth. As in,
wow,
nothing could stay in my tummy. I could not eat anything,
wow.
anything. Whatever they prescribed was not working for me. At
Hmm.
a point in time, I need to meet with my doctor. Then, when I was still in Nigeria, that please, can you just admit me? Let me be on drip. And he was
Wow.
like, "Do you know what?" He said, "It's because you got married legally. That's why you are speaking and talking that way. That I didn't mean you were
Hmm.
impregnated by somebody, and you are not bold enough to talk about it. You would be able
Yeah.
to put yourself together." So I just thank God I was able to pull through. Each time I'm pregnant, the first 3 months, because I
Wow.
already have my second baby, but the first 3 months is always heaven
Baby.
on earth. Let me just use
Wow.
that word. It's always heaven on earth. I throw up every
Wow.
minute, every second. Nothing stays in my tummy.
Wow.
Nothing. Nothing. It was during my second baby that the nurse told me that, okay, each time I'm feeling that way, I have to just take ORS, that will help me to stay better, and then it will give me
Hmm.
strength to pull through. But seriously, it's a wonderful journey, I must say. It's really, really a wonderful journey. But once I'm done with my first trimester, then I
You
can eat
become good.
anything,
Anything.
anything I want to
Bring,
eat,
bring
anything.
anything.
But my first,
Wow.
the first pregnancy, as in, it was so amazing. I was throwing up. I
Hmm.
was so thin, throwing up,
Hmm.
nothing stayed. Oh my
Wow.
God. I thought I would
Wow.
not pull through. I
Honestly,
thought
that's
I would
what
not.
I'm saying. I didn't have that experience of throwing up, but I can imagine what it's like for those that really
Uh,
have it. I know it must be
you don't
really,
want to,
really
you don't want to
difficult.
experience it. You don't
Ah,
want to experience.
honestly,
No, you
because
don't want to.
the few times I've had it, it just made me feel like a part of me is gone. I
I'm
just
telling you.
then I hear people say they always experience it. It's
Yes,
just something
it's
you
real.
can't imagine.
It's
If
real.
I were
It's
in your
real.
shoes, I think my worry will go on another level because I can worry for things, but I
No,
think
you
a
know,
lot. I think a
one
lot.
thing
I
is
think
this.
that's the problem.
One thing is this. Even if you are in my shoes, if you were to be in my shoes, with God in the journey, you will pull through, because
Yeah.
God will be there to encourage you every step of the way. The journey of pregnancy is actually, an in-depth for as a child of God, is another depth of knowledge, because you
Hmm.
can just imagine something growing inside of you. You
Inside
being
you.
able to conceive a seed. Ah, no, it's amazing. And gradually your tummy is coming out. My tummy was not out until like 5, 6 months, because I had a flat tummy. So you won't even know I'm
Hmm.
pregnant, but I was throwing up.
Yeah.
So people were like, "What's wrong with this lady?" But they never knew that I was actually pregnant. So it was
Hmm.
later when the pregnancy, my tummy was coming out protruding, that people get to know that, oh, she's pregnant.
Oh, this was
Oh,
it.
she's
Yeah.
pregnant. But all through the rest of the trimester, I was very fine. No issues at all. Just the first 3 months. Just the first three
Wow.
months. So I think it's
I wish
different stories.
mine. Yeah, it's never the same. Even like different people, they say some were more difficult than the other, and all of that,
Mhm.
which is something that when you think about it, you don't know whether you should take it in the light of an encouragement. Because, like now, like I said earlier, it started making me think, me that want to have a large family. Are you sure you can do this? But then when you hear people say it's never the same, you now hope, okay, maybe next one will be better than this one. Maybe next one will be
My
better
God.
than this one. Maybe that's the hope I'll keep alive. Okay, who knows? This one will be a different experience because they are never the same. Let me go again. That's the only reason, one of the reasons I want to have twins. 'Cause I want to make it a short journey. Doing all of this thing again and again for how
But
many
you're not
years?
good. You're not good. So
No,
you
of
can you
course, I
can't
just
do
got
that.
to help me
No, you
because
know what? When you have the baby and the baby is growing, you will enjoy the baby's company more and more. So
mm,
even when they're like 2, 3 and they start running around, be like, oh, is this the same baby I was carrying then? And you want to have another one, because baby are always adorable. They are always
yeah,
wonderful. I'm telling you. So they are beautiful. They are a kind of beautiful thing to have and to behold. So you won't even remember the pain and the things you went through. I'm telling you. You won't
hmm,
remember any of it again. That's one thing about God. The
yeah,
moment you have that, you won't remember anything again.
everything,
You won't
yeah.
remember. Yeah, you won't
I
remember.
think it's
So it's
it's the
always
same way. Yeah,
so it's
because
always
I
easy
think
for you
it's
to
the
want to go
same
through
way.
that journey again.
Yeah, when you watch all these birth, like live birth vlogs, sometimes you just
Mm-hmm.
see them. They are going through pain. This immediately the baby comes, you just see the especially when the mother now carries the baby. You can just feel
Yeah,
like this same
the
person
joy.
that some minutes ago was in pain and was going through all of that. Then you just see once the baby comes like this, everything is kind of settled. I don't know, but I just hope, yeah, God will see us through. To be honest, it's
Mm.
not an easy journey. I've come to learn. It's not an easy journey, and I'm happy that we had a man earlier on. I know some men will not be interested in this topic, but I was really praying when I was doing this. I wish I can have men here. I want to hear their own version of the story, what they have to say about women being pregnant, their wives or their partner, because I know they also have their own fair share. It's not easy on them because
Yeah,
sometimes
indeed.
I've said it, I take out my anger on my husband. Short, I've become. There's a video I'll release soon where we did never have I ever. I kept telling him, no, not never have I. Who is more likely to? I kept telling him, excuse me, sir, you are judging me. Why are you judging me? Was this that made me become like this? It's pregnant. Why are you judging me? You are judging me.
No,
And okay,
no.
next time you will come and carry me to become pregnant for you.
Favor, I must say that you are so lucky to have your husband around. When I was pregnant for my first baby, my husband was in Ibadan and I was in Lagos. And I was
Wow.
all alone by myself because he was
Wow.
working outside the state where I was. So, we had planned that he was going to come in towards my EDD.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, something came up where he was working, and so he couldn't come
Wow.
in. So my
Wow.
dad called me. I was like, and I had lost my mom too. So my dad
Hmm.
called me. My dad is very caring and was like, should I come and stay with you, spend the night? I said, no, I don't want to see anybody. I just want my husband. And since he's not willing to come, I don't want to see anybody. And that night, labor started,
Wow.
middle of the night.
Hmm.
I've been hearing about labor. I never knew it's something like that.
It's like
And I was like,
Wow.
I didn't eat that night. because I was hungry.
Hmm.
And by the time it was, I started in the middle of the night, and by the time it was 4 a.m., I was already calling my dad. Yeah, you need to start. I don't want to know what
Wow.
is going on. So he came in around 5. I had to rush, take myself to the hospital. I just had to be strong. I went to the hospital. I had a midwife that checked me to see how I was doing, and it was like,
Yeah.
okay, by evening, just go to the hospital. That I was just 2 centimeter open, ready. So when I got back home, I sat down. I prepared myself before going
Yeah.
to the hospital. By the time my husband joined me later that day, and
Hmm.
one of the things that, well, thank God for God and thank God for the way we are actually growing in our generation. You've heard about different stories of
Hmm.
women who are going through pain and who are saying all sort of things with their mouth in the labor delivery room. I had this,
Yeah.
I had an example of that in my labor room. The woman was just saying all sorts. And that gave me a reminder of who I am in Christ and
Hmm.
what I'm capable of. So at the time when she was
Hmm.
saying all those things with her mouth, I was just praying. I said, "This baby, I started prophesying into her life. This is it.
Hmm.
This is what you are going to become." I was in pain, but I could not bring myself to saying negative things in my mouth because I
Hmm.
knew the implication of that. And I
Yeah.
knew that those are one of the periods that the enemy waits for you to make you say and prophesy
Safe.
the wrong thing into your life. So, I
Yeah.
had to be conscious of that. I had to be conscious of that. And, those are some of the men, they have their fair share. They might not understand what you are going through. But, by the time I had my second baby, my husband was there. I remember
Hmm.
one December when he asked me to go and slaughter the chicken for Christmas. I was like, look at this man. I've not been eating. You're asking me to go and slaughter chicken. I said, okay. And he was going to the church. I said, okay, sir, good, bye-bye. And I went to the room back to sleep. It was my first trimester. He had not even gone far. Something tells him that instruction I gave to that lady, she won't take to it. So all by himself, he
He
turned
came
back
back.
and he came back home. He came back home by himself. So when he came back, I said, what happened? He didn't even say anything. He just went straight to the kitchen, did everything he had to do for Christmas, and was like, "Come and eat." I said, "Eat. Thank you. I'm not eating." So you can imagine. I remember a story that somebody shared on YouTube too of a married man and a married couple. The lady had
Mhm.
just given birth, and the husband's senior brother came to the house and was like, he wants to take Semo. This
Yeah.
African mentality. And
Yeah.
nobody's Yeah, I assisting the think I wife. saw that video. Yeah, nobody's assisting the wife. And it was
Hmm.
like the wife should prepare Semo for his elder brother. That
Hmm.
why would the wife prepare rice? I just smiled.
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
I saw
eh?
that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, you
Yeah.
can just imagine this our mentality that the women, they are just servants. They have to just do their duty no matter the pain they are
No
going
matter
through.
what. Yeah.
No, that's really unfair. That's
But
really unfair because
I think that's why I said earlier. Sorry, I said it earlier that see, women sometimes I think you just have to express and tell your partner or whoever how you are feeling. Let them also come
mhm,
along because you don't have to form
yeah,
superpower. This is not time.
mhm.
For me, I was forming superpower at work, oh, but at home,
No,
I could
don't
not even form any
don't.
superpower. I've even learned it. If I get like my next pregnancy, I will not form any superpower even at work. I will just call in sick immediately. People should just leave me alone after I'm entitled to it. You know, that kind of thing. But some people, sometimes some women try to form superpower, still be the good wife, even when you are suffering. I think you should also let the man know how you are feeling. And
Yeah, it's
although it
a
depends
joint
on
effort. It's a joint effort.
it
And
is
that's why I love the way you carry your husband along the journey because it's so much important. In fact, to
yeah.
me, when I just concluded in that discussion was that anytime you want to give birth, such a woman wants to give birth, let her insist that the husband should be in the labor room with
Yeah,
her. When she sees what you are going through,
going
then
through.
it should be able to treat you better.
It
It's not
does.
we are not requesting for a fair share with them. We are not saying equality with them. We are not competing, but women folks should be pampered,
Especially during that
especially
stage.
because of that stage. Yes,
Yeah,
it's really important
I
because
agree.
if you don't take care of that woman, you will be left all alone to yourself later. And
Mm-hmm.
just like we that work in care home, in care at the moment, you see the way
Yeah.
how lonely some of these people get to be
Yeah.
at their end of life. So you don't want to be like that because you are taking your family as being important at the expense of your wife.
Your wife.
So it's
Yeah.
beautiful the way you carry your husband along because that stage, there are sometimes at the middle of the night you feel like you just need somebody around you to just support you at the middle of the night. You might not even be able to tell what is going on in your body.
My husband feels
The
like my
pregnancy
slave
stage,
now. But sometimes I do it unapologetically. Some days I feel bad for him, but other days I
mm,
just feel like it's not my fault. Before I got pregnant, I was not like this, so you should understand.
mm,
I literally
mm,
like some. I will just say, I want to drink water. Like, oh, there is my. I said it has finished. I'll give him the can. He will just stand like this. Hi, going downstairs again. But he has no choice. If he
mm,
doesn't, he will just go. For him, I just pray just because he's his nature. He's a good man. He will just go.
mm.
But I just think like sometimes we women should also take it easy on ourselves.
Yeah.
Try send them on errand. As far as you were not like that before, a good man should understand that this is a phase and this is what is happening. If you were like that before, it's a different thing, but you were not like this. You serve him food, you do this for him. All of a sudden, you are not able to do it. I think it's something men should also understand that this is actually not easy. In as much as we know they too, they have their own fair share because either you pour out your aggression on them, you are not able to serve them the way you used to serve them. But I don't think there is any trophy. There is no trophy you win as a woman that you suffer, carry pregnancy alone, do everything on your own. Your husband is not supportive and everything. At the end of the day, what do you stand to gain? Nothing.
Not,
So I think that's another thing. I think someone said, always let your man know how you feel while pregnant.
yeah.
It's at this
It's
point that
important.
we men always give up. But if you keep us on board, we get really supportive. And that's coming from a man, just the Kamalos family that came earlier. That's it. Honestly, if you don't tell them, they won't. My husband sometimes doesn't understand my craving. The things I eat sometimes, you'll be like, I mean, like, it's not my fault, okay? But of course, he just comes around and he will just accept it, okay? There's no problem. But, we just have to tell them. Some of them, they are so ignorant. I don't know, for some people, like my husband doesn't notice things except you draw his attention to it. Earlier, if you just leave him to see things on his own, he will not. So you just have to mention it. And I think some men are like that. So let's not
Yeah.
even try to be super women. We are. That journey alone is enough proof that we are super women because it's not easy. My husband is dreading being in the labor ward because I made him watch one labor live birth vlog live. I made him to watch it, and since then he said, "Are you saying I'll be inside?" I said, "Yes, so you go inside." I said, "Yes, so you'll be in there with me." Ha! You'll be like Chineke Mo. Hey, he will just be thinking. I made him watch that video. For me, for selfish reason, no, I made him watch it because I said I want to vlog my birth this thing. Though. Of course, it's not like it's going to be live video, but I want to vlog it. Oh yeah, come and be learning, how to do it. We now watched a video. My husband was like, why is she doing like this now? So I think I can't remember who told him that I see, be careful. Okay, it's our priest wife. He says she might twist your hand, though. She might break your bone. That I was
I
telling
heard a story of a lady that was actually pinching her husband. There were a lot of marks on the husband's body. I'm
imagine.
telling you, because of the pain she was going through, but that was actually to the extreme. The mother of the wife had to tell the husband to leave the house. That no, 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 she should be able to manage some pain. That I know you have always been there for her, so she should be able to manage some pain. But
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good thing.
Well,
It's a
no,
good
it's
thing.
good for them to be there. Of course, I've seen some. There's this couple I follow. When they gave birth to their first baby, the man at some point started crying. Like he was just there. You could see
Mm.
tears. He couldn't stand the pain the wife was
The
going
wife was
through.
going through.
And that was before they gave epidural. I mean, I was just saying that I want to experience this labor pain. Even if I'll take epidural, it will be like last resort. I want to feel this labor pain. If I will feel
You
it,
have to
because
feel
I
like
know
the Hebrew woman. Ah,
Yours will be like,
that
No,
labor
that's what
pain
I'm
is
saying.
actually what I'm asking.
Exactly. My sister-in-law recently gave birth. She gave birth less than 1 hour after giving birth. She was calling us on video call. I said, "Madam, are you sure you just gave birth?" She said that you was just telling her husband, "I'm feeling somehow. Let's go, let's go." The husband was like, "Let's wait till morning now, you know." And when they got to the hospital, nurse said, "Madam, your baby's head. I can see your baby's head." She
hmm,
just went
that's
to the
that's
labor
the
room. Yeah, baby came out. She was calling on video call. I said, "You say you just gave birth. How many minutes?" She was just laughing. So sometimes I
someone
just
like that.
let that be my posture. But if there's any
Amen.
how that
Amen.
take, yeah, I want it to just be that free because sometimes I'll be like, I don't know, but I'll just say that if there's labor pain, okay, let me not even depend on epidural. It's not like I'll even be a superwoman. If it gets to any point, if that happens, okay, give it to me. But that's when I was talking when my priest wife now told my husband, be careful, oh, if you stay near her, she can she can call she can actually twist you on this thing and all of that because of the pain. But hopefully, God will give us a safe journey. We will be fine. Pregnancy is not easy. But like you said,
No.
amazing. Eventually, when the bundle of God, that's what they are called. When they come, you tend to forget everything so soon, and
Yeah.
you are just looking at the product, and it's more like sometimes I tell myself a human being is growing inside
Mm-hmm.
me. How no, I'm just carrying. That's why sometimes I'm just so careful if I do anyhow. But amazing, since you've given it before, were there some food that you couldn't eat? I'm curious to ask this question because I miss some things. I don't know how to start them. I'm so afraid. For instance, since I got pregnant, I've not drank any hot drink. Tea, hot chocolate, Horlicks, name anything hot drink. I've not had it. Recently, I want to start drinking tea. Some days, my bread and egg, I take it with iced tea. Some days I want to take it with tea or hot chocolate, And then chicken. I've not been eating chicken. I want to start eating chicken. So, did you have anything like that that you were not eating? And were there any steps or anything you did that kind of helped you to start eating them again, if it happens to you?
Well, as for me, the moment I'm done with my first semester, anything I crave for, I go for it.
Hmm.
Anything whatsoever I crave for, I go. I'm only the only thing is that the moment I stopped throwing up, I was only being careful of what can still instigate that.
Hmm.
What can make me go back to it? I was very careful of it. I think there was a time I realized that when I take hot thing in the morning, it affects me. So I don't go near them. So, but
Hmm.
apart from that, anything I crave for, my second pregnancy was during lockdown. So I had plenty of time to enjoy myself. So anything I crave for, except if your doctor tells you otherwise, if your
Yeah.
midwife tells you otherwise. If not, whatever you are craving for, don't rush at it. Take it gradually. Since you are
Hmm.
just going back to it, take it gradually. And
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true. I learned, for then when we're in Nigeria, don't take too much Bonvita or Milo so that your baby doesn't grow so big.
So big.
I don't know if that is true. I don't know how true that is. But
Me,
anything I
someone
crave
has been Someone was telling me because I've been eating fried egg and bread every day. Someone was saying, your baby will be so big. You are eating egg every day, that kind of thing. I said, I don't know. That's
despite all of that, my first baby was 3.8 kg. My
hmm.
second baby was 4.5 kg.
What?
Yeah, very
Oh my
big.
Wow.
gosh.
So it's not. I don't think it's based on all those things. If according
Yeah,
to what my midwife said, then he said if your first baby is big, expect that your second baby will be bigger.
others. Yeah.
But if your first baby is small, just expect that the second one may be small. And then I was told that since I have the second one that was 4.5, the third one may be smaller.
Hmm.
So I don't think to me, I don't think it's based on what one is
Well,
actually
just
eating.
what you eat. Hmm.
So I don't know, but I went for whatever I crave for. I just try to just enjoy myself at that stage. That's what I
I want
just
to
try.
start taking hot drinks again. I'm going to just try to start it. It's just that I'm dreading it. I hope it won't make me throw up because I hate to do that. But I'm just checking for now. Sometimes the thought of it scares me. I don't even if I even bite it mistakenly, because I still cook with it, but my husband eats it. I'll just cook beef. I'm the one eating beef, and
You're not
and
alone. You're not alone on those two. For me, while I was in Nigeria, it was all about cold water. If I drink anything, just room temperature water,
yeah,
I'll start throwing up.
mm,
I must throw it up. So what I did, it was I think it was after I came here to UK, when I came over to UK, that I started trying hot stuff, hot chocolate,
mm,
and other hot drinks. So I started trying it, but it was in bits, small, 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 small. But now I'm okay. I
mm,
can take hot chocolate anytime I want. I can. I brought Milo and milk from Nigeria that I do take. And for that of chicken, for meat, I noticed
mm,
that beef appeals to me more. I will
yeah,
cook with beef, cook with chicken, but I don't want to eat the chicken. I only serve my husband chicken and then
yeah.
eat the beef. I
Chicken
don't
will
know why
just
that
lie
is.
there.
I
Yeah, I
don't know
don't
why
know.
that is.
I've heard
But
so many
I
people
noticed
use
that.
conversion for chicken. Many women don't eat chicken when they are pregnant. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know why. But I think I can easily start drinking hot drinks than starting to eat chicken. Even if I start eating chicken, I'm thinking to start with all this fast food like KFC one. I've tried
Yeah.
it sometimes. So in wrap, I'll buy chicken wrap instead with all the vegetables and everything inside it. I kind of have tried it, but if it's the one I used to cook, ah, the thought of it scares me. But I don't know if it's my mindset, if it's my mind playing tricks on me. But
Yeah.
I will. I'll try and come around, because for how long? Someone told me that you have to learn how to eat them again.
Yes, because my I have a sister-in-law. She didn't. There were some food she avoided while she was pregnant. So she
Mm,
noticed that after she put to bed, it was difficult for her to go back to start eating those
yeah,
things, even
mm,
though she knew nothing will happen.
yeah,
But that fear, that
yeah,
phobia is already there in her head. Something
yeah.
like chicken. For a
Mm,
long time, she couldn't bring herself to eat chicken. She
chicken.
knows that nothing will happen, not like she will throw up,
Yeah,
not, but because she has stopped eating it for a long time,
a
it
long
doesn't appeal to
time.
her anymore.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I think it because the one woman she has 4 children. Her kids are all grown. She just told me you have to learn. You just have to learn. Teach yourself. If you know how you introduce food to babies, introduce it
Mm,
to yourself before you know it. Your mind and your whatever will tell you this is normal. It will not do anything, and there you have it. You just start eating it. But I think some people are eating most are those that cannot eat, especially if you're in this UK and you cannot
mm,
eat food that you cook. Sorry is
yeah.
your name. Because I think some women experience that. Imagine me if I can if I can eat water and in this country, some days I even crave street food, Nigerian street food. Craving
Oh, sorry.
craving up by the roadside. I'm craving
Ah,
Oh,
mine was Udala. Of recent was Udala. I was just
ah,
dreaming it.
honestly, it's so difficult being pregnant. Yes, especially when you've lived all your life in Nigeria or
yeah,
elsewhere,
yeah.
and most of the things there they are no longer here. If you start craving those things, forget it. And then if you can't eat the food you cook, ah,
That's
Mm,
when
another
God
one.
bless you with all these busy people, it's only God will bless you with good people around you that are willing to cook and bring for you. That
Mm.
is for me. It never happened to me. As a matter of fact, even before now, I struggle to eat people's food, just any food. I struggle, and even now, it even became worse. Some food that people cooked and brought for me, I couldn't eat it. I just said I
mm,
couldn't eat it. I couldn't eat it. It was still so like that with that. It was my husband, all the soup. But they helped me because then I was not able to cook. But at least my husband has food, soup to still be eating in the
yeah.
house. He go and warm them. So I was so grateful that they gave me that. But me, to tell you that I tasted it one day, I'll be lying. Not tasty because, and of course, I wasn't eating eba. It's recently I started eating swallow again. I was not able to eat eba. All of these things are eba. I couldn't eat them. So, but sometimes I just think about people that I know it happens to some women. The food they cook, they can't eat it. If you're in a
Yeah.
country like everybody is busy, you can't get. Look at me now. The day I was craving, I went and ordered African food. If you watch that video, it ended in the bin, So there's no place to order. Somewhere you know that they cook good food. You can order food out there to eat because your own is not doing it for you. I wonder what it will look like. But no, God is faithful. He will always see us through. And I'm happy so far how it's going. Few months to go. My fears are being allayed. I'm now having baby movement because that was my greatest fear then. Are you sure this baby is alive and I'm not feeling anything? But I'm hearing to feel baby movement. It's reassuring for me. The
Yeah.
scans and all of that. Yeah, so just thank God. But I think someone made a comment said pregnancy is a characteristics on its own. It's a protected characteristics. Flavia Akulu. It's a protected characteristics. It's something on its own. It's just something that can humble you. Some people will say, is pregnancy your mate? Your mate, it will humble you. It will bring out so many sides of you never knew.
Yeah.
Especially with things, it will make you become another person, all of that. But all in all, we thank God, and God will continue to keep us. And anybody trusting God for the fruit of the womb, my prayer that God Almighty will actually visit you. Your womb will
Amen.
and will conceive, and you shall carry that pregnancy to full term. Those that are pregnant already, there shall be no complication. All your fears allayed. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and sound mind. And I pray that God will see us through to the very end. Pregnancy will not be cut short, it will not be terminated. Healthy mommies, healthy babies all the way in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you all so
Amen.
much for joining. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm usually happy when people join this. I know that I'm a growing YouTuber. Forget about the numbers. I'm on 20K. For me, I think if you put me where I am, probably I'm on 1K subscribers because most of the people that join my channel are people that doing student content. And now I'm kind of deviating and it's not like I'm growing again. Said, but I'm usually happy when people still engage with my videos, live, and all of that. It makes me happy and it keeps encouraging me to be honest. In days you'll be like, when you used to have 5K, 10K views, all of a sudden you're having less than 1K views. What is going on? But you know why we are here and God will help. So thank you for joining me tonight. Amazing Gwen.
Favor, just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. I think it would be nice if you once in a while maybe share information about what appeals to your former audience, especially when it comes to social work, because
Yeah,
a lot
no,
of
yeah,
people.
I still do. The only thing is, if you want to film such content, it takes research. And personally, I don't like coming out. I'm not on YouTube just to come and give you like basic like information that is not tangible. If you get what I
Yeah.
So it take me a lot of time, and unfortunately, my job. Honestly, I plan to grow my channel during my maternity leave by the grace of God. Social work
Okay.
content, like so many information, I'll be able to call local authorities, call universities. You get that kind of thing. This job is
Yeah.
not allowing me to. I work full time, Monday to Friday, and
Oh.
it's not a regular 9 to 5 because some days I'm at work 7. I'm still in a visit, coming back around 7. Next morning I'm out again. Okay, so it's so busy. Then my weekend and in this condition, all I need is my time. Some
Right.
weekend I
Yeah.
wake up 11 o'clock. Even if I woke up, I'll be on my bed pressing my phone. Before you know it, the day has ended. I'll say I'll film a video yesterday. I could not film any video. Today too, that kind of thing. So, but I'm planning to kind of still mix it up, if you get what I mean. Mix up
Yeah.
content. But mind you, most of these people that subscribe, they're already there in the UK studying. So they don't
Yeah.
even need, or in another course. So it's not that they still even need those content, kind of. Well, I think
Some people might still need it. I think, like, let's say for instance in my class, there are a
yeah,
few of us that came from Nigeria that are
yeah,
struggling at the moment.
yeah,
And the struggling it all came from the place of, different environments, trying to
yeah,
cope. And within last year, between last year and this year, quite a number of people have moved from Africa and other places to the UK,
yeah,
and
yeah,
at the moment they are also trying to adapt. So
yeah,
giving them something in that line, something to help them to adapt in their chosen profession, social work, and all of that, it will go a long
yeah.
way. I think a
I'll
lot
try
of
and
people would.
recreate. Yeah, that will just involve me recreating videos. But one of the reasons I stopped filming those videos is because I felt I'm no longer in the system. I don't know what it's like now. And I feel like people that are students that are now creating content should be able to also grow their channel. People should watch them, that kind of thing.
It
But
will surprise you, favor. There are few people like you that are doing social work videos. Do you know, when I was in Nigeria, you were like the one person, the only person that popped up. Then
yeah,
later on, I now found this other lady, something Lux.
oh, Locks
It
and
was the
Chronicle.
both of you at the moment.
Yeah,
Yes, Lux and Chronicle. Yes, it
Mrs.
was
O.
the both of you that I found. Then of recently, there's a Ghana lady too, but it's still not the same. Your contents are not the same. Very, very
Yeah,
different.
it's
So
true.
there are very few of you. So if you're thinking that people that are there, it's not a lot of people that would actually want to go into all of these creating content and all of that. So
Yeah,
there are very few people, and I think creating content in that line is still very viable.
yeah.
It's still
No,
something that will
I
appeal to
will
people.
do it, to be honest. For instance, I've been planning to start since last year. I've been meaning to film videos on interview, like people that are going for social work interview, even people that are
Yeah,
coming in social work interview. I have some questions that I know that they will ask. I have all those videos to film, but to sit down and do them, God will help me. But I actually promise people,
yeah,
like, of course, because sometimes all these videos about visa, international student, no longer dependent, this. Sometimes those news I read them, I see them when they come in. But I don't have the
yeah,
time to come and sit down and set camera and do it. And by the time I wait for weekend, I usually feel that it's an old news. People have
yeah,
about it. So why come and I bet let me leave it for them. And those are the videos that people love. To be
mm,
honest, those are the videos that people love. I hope to interact with more people. I can even bring people on board. For instance, there is somebody, hopefully, when she comes over, she has done her social work England registration from Nigeria. I
mm,
can ask her to tell me, but and then I'll come and share. But I would prefer people, someone that had that experience, come and tell
yeah,
people at the step-by-step process how to do it. And so all those collaborations are things I look forward that if I have time, I'll be able to bring people to the channel to share about their experiences and we'll get there. So social work content, even I have so many videos, I still want to enlighten people about social work and all this idea about taking children away. I feel that there are some things that when you will know peace. You won't be bothered again about, oh, social services. Maybe if you are coming to UK, the first thing is social services will take my children away. Because, of course,
yeah,
I have to members, people, there are basic things. If you know this, you know about social services, nobody will intimidate you. Even when they call you, you know what to answer them. I'm
yes,
serious. It's not that scary. I know it appears scary, but it is not that scary. Okay, especially from the point we are coming. I know most of us, the only issue we have is about physical chastisement. But even in that physical chastisement, there is a but in that physical chastisement and the law of things. I hope to
yeah,
film all of those videos, enlighten people more about the process and what they should do and what they should know. Things and sometimes I'm usually kind of trying to be discreet because I
yeah,
don't know watch my video, those kind of things.
yeah,
And I'm still in the forefront of my like
yeah,
front
yeah,
line rather, you know.
yeah,
Imagine if a client watches my video and they will hate me, they think I'm deceiving people because people think now Africans think that social services are after them. The same
yeah,
way we always think we are after them. Sure, they hate us more than Africans hate us, if that makes sense, because they are in the system and they know all of those stuffs. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine. Definitely, I'm going to mix it up along the line and see how it goes. But thank you all for still sticking. Please, if you are still
Yeah,
watching
favor
now, yeah.
before you go, I'd like to say a big thank you to you again and again. You've really been
Yeah.
a source of inspiration. I remember when I joined your channel, I was just going through and I saw Intentional Favor. And because that name was actually my daughter's name, I was like, hey, let me listen to what you have to say. And since
Oh,
then, I've been glued to your channel. And
oh,
if you could still remember the prayer you held in, was it
oh,
last two
yeah,
years
yes,
now?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I joined that day. I was still in Nigeria, and God really, really ordered our step. We were supposed to be in South Wales, but God brought us to Scotland. And seriously, the prayer really went a long way. It goes a
Mm,
long way to help us. We
mhm.
got into the country October 10. I got my first job October 19th. And
Wow.
seriously, really, really, really amazing. So I
Wow.
when I saw this live video, I said, no, I have to join this. I just use this opportunity to say thank you for what you are doing. Keep up the
Oh,
good work. I know it's not easy for you at this stage because of the
Yeah.
condition you are at the moment, but as
yeah,
much as the Lord keep helping you and keep giving you the nudge, please, you don't know how far you go until when people start telling you, do you know this, you touched this in my life, you did this to me then.
yeah.
So those information you are dishing out, even when God gives you the nudge to lead a prayer, don't hold back.
Mm,
Try as much as possible to do it because you are blessing someone you might not even know. So thank you very much. You've really been a blessing to me
true.
and my family, and I'm
Oh.
really grateful. I wish you well in all you're doing. Huh? God
Thank you
keep
very
you.
much. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. I'm encouraged, to be honest. I'm really, really encouraged. I'm really encouraged. That's all I can say. And God will continue to help. To be honest, like you guys said, it's not easy. But apart from this journey, it's about my job. It's about my job, to be honest. My job is so, I don't know. I wish I could quit that job, but I can't. If not, I'm going back to my country. Oh my God, someone
Sure.
is here. Oh my God, the latest mommy in town. The latest mommy in town is here. Guys, Tochi Esther is here. Who doesn't know Tochi Esther? Oh my
Wow.
gosh. What a privilege.
I
Oh
follow
my
her channel
God.
Wow,
too.
wow.
Wow, Tochi, wow. This is a privilege, Joe. Thank you for this honor. I mean, I'm not taking it for granted. Your girl is loyal, man. Your girl is loyal. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow. And congratulations. Congratulations. Guys, if you guys have not seen our latest video, she surprised those that she surprised. She surprised those that she surprised. But yeah, finally, it's public, yay. So she's also part of us, you know what we are discussing, yeah. So you can go and watch and hear what she has to say and go and see her bomb. Oh my gosh, I was like, what is this? If you see her bomb, my own is learning though. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Happy Mother's Day, Tochi. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, just about rounding off. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. It's been amazing talking with you guys and for your contributions. It's reassuring. Remember, someone said that some days the baby doesn't kick. So me that is not hearing kick every now and then, I wonder why I'm now worried that I'm not hearing kick. So it's very, very good. So thank you guys. I'm sure this actually helped, will help even in the future because the video will still be there to listen and learn about all this. You are not alone. It's normal. Pregnancy symptom is so different for everybody. It's not the same. You just go through one or two, and you think you are done. No, you are not done. You will come out of it. And when your bundle of joy arrives, you just forget everything, literally. At least we have so many people share that's how it's been for them. And we are grateful. So thank you guys. It's a new week. This week, God will go ahead of us. He will perfect everything that concerns us. We are
And
favored before God and
Amen.
before men. People that will meet this week, they shall favor us, and we shall also be a
Amen.
blessing to them in return. God shall be
Amen.
with us in all our going out. Our families are preserved, our children, both born and unborn, and those expecting, they are all preserved, and God Almighty will continue to keep us in the shadow of His wings. Thank you guys so much for joining. I love you guys so much. So, see you guys next time I see you. And until then, stay blessed,
Stay
stay
intentional.
and
Remain
take good care of
intentional.
yourselves. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.